Well, I mean, it's to keep going. Does it hold up still to now? Has it aged well in your opinion, or have you?
It's hard to say, right? Because like when I saw some of the special effects, for example, like only one, I think there's a part where they're on the hilltop or whatever, and like these spirits come out.
Oh yeah.
You know, so again, it is swords and sorcery, so there's a hint of magic.
Yeah.
In the world, it's there.
Mm-hmm. Very subtle though, which I thought
was cool.
That was very subtle magic stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't
cool.
people like casting thunderbolts and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's kind of like they're even like Conan kind of questioned like sorcerers or wizards, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of his character too.
Yeah,
like he's very anti
magic
and sorcery stuff.
Yeah.
So I still enjoyed it. The funny thing is when I watched it again, I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as I did when I saw it the first time and when I had seen it later. I think I remember watching it a few years ago and it's just one of those things that kind of popped up on cable and I was like, oh crap, Conan, I haven't seen this in forever and a day. I don't know, man. I think I like it still just because of, nostalgic reasons.
Yeah.
But I do like the world that they created. I think James Earl Jones did a great job making this what could have been like a cartoon character villain. Yeah. Making him seem very real, very threatening, very scary. He completely believed everything he was doing. And everything he said to somebody, even when he was talking to Conan, talking about your strength, your drive, everything that you are is because of me. Like he believed it. Even at the end of it, he's like, I'm your father. Like I'm your father.
Yeah.
What happened? I changed everything I said. I love it. This movie's fantastic. James Earl Jones, everybody's dad. Yeah. Dad to white people all over the world. Yeah. But I still enjoyed it. Maybe not like at 100%. Maybe it's down to like 92%. Yeah, how much I like it compared to in the past. I suppose.
I see. Yeah. No, I will say for sure. Just like going off of that it I see why it did really well when it came out. I see why it has a following. I think
it didn't do well. It had a lot of criticism.
Oh, did it really? Criticism? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I see why there's a following for it, though. I think I get there's a charm to it. Yeah. And I like Arnold, man. Overall, like, in general, like not that again, not an Oscar performer, not something like that, but just like that. He comes, and I know I'm a little bit younger, but he comes from an era of action movies that are like. Not like amazing movies, but just good, entertaining. The movies you can sit down and just enjoy an entertaining action flick. Arnold is one of those guys. He is from that era. Right. He's probably pioneered a lot of that. Yeah. Was a big part of that. Just action movie. Not to say it's mindless, but the 80s action movies. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a good way. It's an 80s action movie. 80s action movie. There are 80s action movies. Yeah, and that was the era where it's just like it was okay. Like this is where I could feel like I can sit back and just enjoy it, regardless of the story, regardless of character development. You just enjoy a cool 80s action movie. Like that's the era I think of that being okay for me. Yeah, because action movies now I can't really watch too much. I mean, like I said, Mission Impossible is big for me, and sometimes it's here and there, but just for the most part, I can't watch a mindless action movie anymore. Yeah. But this era I can because it was just it hit differently.
I think maybe if you know what it's supposed to. Again, I think I've said that before too. If you know what it's supposed to be, kind of thing, you can look at it through that lens.
Yeah. So. True. Okay, but I enjoy that parts about it. I do enjoy Arnold. And that dude's a beast of a man. And especially in that time,
you see him.
Dude,
yeah, you see him. Yeah,
there's no prosthetics. That dude's just a big, beefed up, yoked up guy that earned that body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think at that point in time he had stopped bodybuilding. Okay, you know what I mean? Because he had done Mr. Olympia. Yeah, won it several times, like several years in a row. There's a great documentary. I think it's called Pumping Iron. Lou Ferrigno's in it too. Plays the Incredible Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno's going to be at Four Color Fantasy this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just saw that email.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I think he'd stopped bodybuilding. I mean, working out like on that professional level for about 5 years, and I think when he got Conan, you know, he kind of got back in the gym again. I'm sure he wasn't all, you know, like, you know, Fat Thor kind of thing, but but he got back in shape to you know be that beast.
Yeah, and I didn't really, I didn't notice it as much until he swung the freaking fire thing up to the top
towards the end. Yeah,
and I was like, dude, he's a big dude.
He's yoked
because he was going like, so I was like, wow, you can see the best definition. I was like, yeah, that's a big dude.
Yeah, there were a couple scenes where you know you see him like holding the sword or doing whatever, and you see like just the definition or whatever in his arms and everything else. Yeah, it's
all there. Yeah, but man, the 80s action charm, man, like where it's like they don't take themselves too seriously, but they do. It's just a perfect balance, man. Like that era of 80s action movies. Is like it treads the line perfectly to me.
Right on.
And you can't like I don't know. I love that, and it oozes that charm for sure.
Yeah.
I do like that. Again, like the subtle magic. I was ready for there to just be a bunch of effing lightning bolts and stuff, and I'm glad that it wasn't that. I'm glad it was like real subtle magic.
Yeah.
Here and there, like it exists in the world, but it's not like an overpowering.
Yeah. It's not everywhere.
Yeah, like casting spells and stuff. Yeah. You know, over and over. But I think it was pretty. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool that it was subtle the approach to it. But it just that there's like. You have a certain feeling for that era, you know what I mean? When you watch a movie, especially if you go back and watch a movie from that era, you still have that kind of same feeling towards it. Like whenever I watch Terminator 2, I watched that so much as a child.
Yeah.
So whenever I watch Terminator 2, I get that feeling of just like whatever what movies do to you, you know, for people like us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Conan had some layers of that for me, or levels of that for me.
I wouldn't expect like you to feel that way about it because again, I mean, if you're coming into it brand new, or if you haven't seen it, you're coming into it brand new. This is a movie that came out like 40 years ago.
Yeah,
over 40 years ago.
Truly,
so things were different in the movie making world. And I think one of the things that helps it too is there weren't a whole lot of special effects in it. So that, you know what I mean? If they had the claymation skeletons come out and we're fighting, it's like, okay, there's no saving that. You know, you can only do so much for that.
Yeah, but I did like the practical, like the sword fights, the axe stuff, like them fighting each other, like that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I really like people getting chopped up, you know. I mean, like the death scenes, I would laugh a few times at like death scenes, especially with that when he fights that last guy has been kind of torturing him a lot. The last dude that he fights before he ends up, killing Doom. He slices him a couple of times and then he just goes like, wah! and then he throws his arms up and then dies and then falls backwards in that like super dramatic death. Yeah. So like I kind of laughed at that, but it's different time, very different time. But I mean, there's definitely that 80s charm to it. For sure.